So Allahumma salli ala Muhammad now. Right. Okay. Right. So it is that so the hadith goes that the person says to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that Allah give me my right from fulan, from this person. He has done this and this and this to me. And Allah knows. Allah knows what that person has done to this person. And the other one who's guilty will just remain there, silent, very quiet, because he knows he's guilty. Then subhanallah says to the person, will you want to forgive? That we want to forgive your brother for all they have done to you or against you. And then this person says, no, never. I will never forgive him. But I want to claim my rights from this fulan. I want to claim my right from this person. And Allah was saying, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one of excellent behavior and goodness and also forgiveness. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah, as He loves that we reconcile between people, Allah will reconcile between us and other people on the day of judgment. So it's not like all is lost. They'll be forgiven and the khalas. Human being want to forgive, but a human, you have no trust in this human being. You have no confidence that this human being will forgive you. You don't know, they're human beings. But Allah, He loves reconciliation. He loves reconciliation. He will step in. Allah asks and requests from that person to reconcile, right? And that person at first will refuse to reconcile. I refuse, because she has done all these things to me in this world. I hate her. I want to take from her good deeds and cast my bad deeds onto her. There's a hadith like that. Right? So, but Allah's love for reconciliation, Allah's love for people to reconcile, Allah will step in. And Allah says, Ya Fulan, the one who came to him to complain about the brother, says, look up. Right? So he looks up and he sees a palace. And beautiful thing he's ever seen. So then he says, Ya Allah, whose palace is this? For which Nabi? Or for which Wali? Or for which Shaheed? It's an amazing, magnificent palace to the point he thinks that only a Nabi deserves this. Only a subhanahu wa ta'ala says, this palace is for a price. Right? And then the man says, who could afford this? Who could afford this price? What is the price of this palace? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, this is for the one who forgives their brother. MashaAllah. Allah loves reconciliation. Right? So the person is amazed, he's amazed by what he's seeing. And Allah says, the hadith goes, Allah says, you are able to purchase it. Says, how can I purchase it? The price of this is to forgive your brother. Right? And so he says, Ya Allah, I forgive. He sees the reason, the reward, the khalas, straight away forgive. I forgive. My brother, both of you enter the paradise. So this is the hadith that you say is the one that has hope. Because you're like, khalas, I'm going to be a bankrupt until your judgment. That's it. I don't know how to answer to people, the people that I might have hurt, people that I might have transgressed against, right? And then Allah will not forgive for on behalf of somebody else. They must forgive. Right? But Allah can do this kind of thing. Allah can get, and in a sense he can give them a reward for mashallah. It's how we do it, Allah is, but it's how we do it in this world. Right? How you want to tell your brother, your child, give to your brother, that give in to your sister. And if you do, right, so I'll buy for you ice cream and something for you, right? Because the younger child is crying, crying. You have to do something to entice them, right? And you can't take it and give because it's their right. It's their thing that they're holding on to. So you can't just be a zalim, take the thing and give to the younger child because younger child is fine, she can't take it. And you're like, okay, like you keep right? You're older, right? You're the older child, right? You're the older right? So it seems similar to what Allah's doing here. They to us, I just forgive that person, right? I give you balance. There's a balance for you in Jannah. Come on. Right, it's not a big deal. They just forgive. MashaAllah. So MashaAllah, Allah loves reconciliation. Right? Allah loves reconciliation. And so for us to first and foremost not to harm anybody. And if anyone were to harm us, like the very famous story of the Sahabi, right, whom Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, he is someone of Jannah. It's a famous story, right? Whereby on one day Rasul was among the Sahaba, right? And he said, a man will enter the masjid right now, and he is one of the inhabitants of paradise, right? And so Sayyidina ibn Umar, right, was looking at the door of the masjid, right, when they saw a man, right, from amongst the Ansar, a regular human being, a regular Muslim in Medina, right, walked in. Right, and then they're like, this guy, who is this guy? He's not somebody like one of the Kubar Sahaba, like he is one of those like regular guys. And the next day, same thing happened. Rasul said, a man will walk in and he's of the inhabitants of paradise. Right? And of course, all the Sahaba, they are in paradise. All the Sahaba, they are the highest level of Muslims. Right? But it's just that to show a distinct quality, right? Or to just in a sense honor someone, right, by their traits. It's the same thing like the 10 who were given the good news of paradise. All the companions are in paradise, but to be named like that, right? Abu Bakr fil Jannah, wa Umar fil Jannah, wa Uthman fil Jannah, wa Ali fil Jannah, wa Talha fil Jannah, wa Zubair fil Jannah, wa Abdurrahman bin Auf fil Jannah, wa Sa'd bin Abi Waqqas fil Jannah, wa Sa'id bin Zayd bin Amr fil Jannah, wa Abu Ubaidah fil Jannah. There is the Ashim Mubashirin fil Jannah. I can memorize the hadith again, like who are the 10 of the great Sahaba, the great first Sahaba. They are the you see the Sabiqun people into Islam. There's a hadith that record hadith. And that's why they got the ranking of وَهُوَ مِنْ عَشَرَ مُبَشِّرِينَ بِالْجَنَّةِ. So whenever they in the hadith, by 10 are mentioned in one go. Right? So whenever they are in Jannah, regardless of what is regardless. So like say the Muawiyah, if you want to argue about him, he's Sahabi. You don't say anything about him. Right? And for us to honor them and respect them. And whoever they are, they met Rasulullah, they achieved the victory, right? Al-Fawz, right? Just by being in the blessed presence of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam in his lifetime, in their lifetime, and having iman in their heart at the points of meeting, and they never left that iman. And there was no murtad. If there was a murtad, then and they came back to Islam, not Sahaba anymore. Right? So there's a hukum of Sahaba. There were of those who were like that. They met Rasulullah in their lifetime and they were believers. In his lifetime, they were believers. Then when he passed away, or maybe later on, there was a group that when Sayyidina Abu Bakr fought again, a lot of them came back into Islam, right? And they beautified their Islam, but not Sahaba. They lost out on being Sahaba. MashaAllah. Wasted so much a waste. You got the Sahaba light, and now you left it by a lot of them refusing to pay zakat. They refused to pay zakat, so they went out of the fold of Islam when they refused zakat. Allahu Alam. So the Sahaba, was one of those whereby some mentions, especially this person is of the people of Jannah. Right. So then, so the third thing happened, or somebody will enter the masjid, is of the people of Jannah. And the same person came in the third time round. So in the Sayyidina Ibn Umar, he got up and he followed the man like out of the masjid. And he said to the man, oh sir, may I stay with you for 3 days? I have some issues, so can I just stay in your house for 3 days as a guest? Right? And the man allowed for him to stay in his house because it is a right, right, of a guest, right, to come and stay in the house for 3 days. So Sayyidina Ibn Umar, his whole point was to observe, to see what is so special about this man, that he's been given the station of Jannah, given the guarantee from the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam of Jannah, to give us all hope. He's been given the Jannah. Otherwise, we just keep quiet. They're all in Jannah anyway. Right? because he wants to highlight a trait that this person has. And he knows that one of his companions will go through the trouble to go and find out what is the special thing. So mashallah, may Allah reward Sayyidina Ibn Umar on our behalf for putting in the effort, staying down for 3 days just to find out doing, mashallah. And mashallah, I mean, oh, he's in Jannah, okay, alhamdulillah. Then you see there. You might not want them go to his house and say, hey, what are you doing? May I know what's your secret? What's the, mashallah. So he stayed there for 3 days. He didn't tell the man anything about why he's really there. Just said that he has some issues back home with his family. He wants to stay for 3 days. Allah Alam. Right. So he sat there, and after 3 days, he didn't see anything extraordinary about this man. And he will go to the masjid for his salat. He will go to his farm and work on his farm. He's a regular guy. And so after 3 days, they said Ibn Umar was going to go back, and he said that, Ya Fulan, I have to admit to you, right, that I have no issue with my family. This is why my family. It's just that I want to find an excuse to stay with you for 3 days. And then the man was like, why? Why you want to stay with me for 3 days? And he said, because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam identified you as a person of Jannah. And so I wanted to know what's with you, right? What's so special about you that you're in Jannah? And the man says, I don't know myself. What you see is what I am. And I'm a regular Muslim. I don't do anything that's extraordinary. I just go to the masjid, come back, I pray some rakats, and I Quran here and there. Then Allah inspired in the man. Some of lessons. Allah says, and the man said, oh, maybe, I think I know what's the reason. I don't know, but maybe it could be that before I sleep every single night, I forgive everybody in my life. I forgive. Right? I don't hold any negativity, not even the slightest negativity. It's all under one Muslimina, one mu'minina ikhwana. It's all under one mu'minina ikhwana. Right? So I don't hold a single bit of negativity against anyone in my life. Subhanallah. Right? And then every single night. So if you open the khulasa, you'll find in the adab of sleeping, the first thing they will mention is first take your wudu, right? Lie on your right, and clean out your heart of negativity. Think to yourself, who do you have something against? Or who hurt you today? Or who said something that upset you today? Who are the people today? And then say, I forgive Fulan, I forgive Fulan, I forgive Fulan. I have nothing against them. I love them, fillah. Right? Say that to yourself. Right? Ya Allah, if I die, then my heart is clean. I have nothing in my heart against anybody. At all. Subhanallah, that reminds me of a story of Habib Muhammad al-Haddad. The Habib here had the same issue, the same state of being. If you met some Muniba is like the kind of person whereby I feel as a teacher in the Zahra, I feel like maybe you say I not transgress, right? In the sense that you kind of like you jump over authority, or you step over authority. Sometimes you feel maybe did I step over authority? Did I just like did I just, so you feel like you when you kind of like feel sometimes on in something, right? But mashallah, and I'll feel like maybe I said something that I should have said. Maybe I did something that I should have done. Maybe I should consult first. Maybe I should ask the idara or the office first. Maybe I should ask mashallah, and I think maybe she's upset with me. But never sometimes I'll think to myself, I think maybe she might be upset with me. But when I meet her, it's all smiles, it's all warmth, it's all like you will never find them having any form of grudge, any form of, they will not like, who do you think you are, or who do you think you are? You're supposed to be, you're just like, who, you're supposed, you'll never hear it from them. They say marhaba, how they handle themselves. Mashallah. So anyway, the story is that that is why he reached Jannah while he was on earth, because of this continuous forgiveness of people. Muhammad al-Haddad had the same story, right, whereby a person had, I think the story was that a person had harmed him, in some way. To harm him in some way. I remember what was the harm. Either he said something against Habib Muhammad al-Haddad, or he, hurt Habib Muhammad al-Haddad in some way physically. Right? And then the person, and Habib Muhammad al-Haddad, he went off to his house. Right? And the person, he realized it hurt Habib Muhammad al-Haddad, he ran to the house of Habib Muhammad al-Haddad to apologize of what he did. So he knocked the door of the house of Habib Muhammad al-Haddad, right? The man was there, right? And then, the man was there. And then Habib Muhammad said, what do you want? And the man said, oh yeah, Habib, I'm so sorry. Just now I said something, or I did something, and I know it hurts you. I'm very sorry, please forgive me. And Habib Muhammad al-Haddad said, and forgive me. And then she said, why? Forgive you for what? And he said that that I did not forgive you on the spot, but I forgive you after a few steps walking away from you. And I forgive you. And to him, it was too late. He should have forgiven on the spot. And he asked the man to forgive him for being a few steps late, a few steps, 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, or 1 month. Like he said, I took a few steps away from you, then I forgave you. Right? So forgive me for being, too late in forgiving you on the spot. Mashallah. This is the martaba, the level. People do something wrong to them, there and then is the forgiveness. They don't have to think so much. And the man was worried, like, I have not asked for forgiveness. And he's worried that he didn't forgive on the spot, without the man asking. He didn't forgive on the spot. Mashallah, how Muhammad had one of the stories of him. Mashallah. And how they would really guard over the feelings of people, right? I think it's also for Habib Abdul Qadir Sagaf. There was once he was in a car, right? I think in Jeddah, right? In the car, and he got into the car, and then the servant or the people who were with them closed the door. And then the car moved for quite some distance far away from where they were. Then he said to the driver, Afwan, can you stop for a while? And they said, why? And when they turned around, they saw his hand was in the door. The person had accidentally slammed the door on his hand, but he was so sensitive towards people's feelings. He didn't show any sign of pain at all until they were way out of sight from the people behind. Then he said, can I just open the door for a while, remove my hand, right, from the door? How they don't want to hurt people's feelings to that extent, because he knew that if he were like that, and then the one who did it will feel so bad that they slammed the door on Habib's hand. So, mashallah, their akhlaq is really, it is like how Habib Abdul Qadir Sagaf, right? Their akhlaq, they knew saying, oh, like that would probably make the other guy feel so bad that he did that. Mashallah. So they took the level of wal-mu'minina ikhwana to a very high level of caring about everyone's feelings. Mashallah. Like mashallah, this part on knowing about the believers and living the believers for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a big topic. Right? It's a big topic which I will not sit so long on. I've been here for a few weeks. Right? But there are entire books written about it, right? Because the rights of the believer. And the rights of the believer onto other believers is huge, right? And expensive. Mashallah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow for us to grant everyone their rights. And really, it is really the one thing that I personally worry so much about the day of judgment. You just don't know how it's gonna the day of judgment, how many people we have hurt knowingly or unknowingly, how many people that we were souls on their bad opinions of knowingly or unknowingly, how many people we backbite, how many people we slander, how many people we, that that there's, this part, this section of your life, there's a lot of filth in there, right? A lot of things that you just say, Allah, hopefully it's all forgiven. And hopefully the longer you live, the more people the more there's going to be a lot more complications on the day of judgment. But that is why, as I mentioned, the awliya, they are dual with the people, right? You cannot reach a level of wilayah, right, until they actually mingle with the people. Right? Why? Because there is where your iman is tested. It's easy to stay at home if you're a cat, and you just pray all day and read Quran all day and do a zikr all day. Easy, no problem, no issue. Right? The problem is when you have neighbors, when you have in-laws, when you have family, you have relatives, you have aunties, you have uncles, you have all kinds of people with all kinds of character. Right? That is come, and when they hurt you in ways that are unjust for you to just like, take it and then just continue your life without, knowing what is correct to do, right? In the way of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now, وَتَبَرَّأْنَا مِنْ كُلِّ دِينٍ يُخَالِفُ دِينَ الْإِسْلَامِ, and we declare ourselves free of any religion or way of life that is contrary to the religion or the way of life of Islam. Tabarra'na. Tabarra'na, in the English, it means to be free of something or to have missed it, or not even come across it. So here it means to abandon, to leave, to not consider at all in words, actions, deeds, and beliefs. Anything that goes against the Islamic way of life. Right? And what is the Islamic way of life? Because to declare this Aqidah Mujmala, mashallah, if you just, it's a very short Aqidah, mashallah, right? But if you just, teach it, right, to your young, especially to our young, and put it as a qaida, as principles that we live our life by. Like we are pleased with that Allah is our Lord. Whatever Allah gives us in our life, we are happy. Okay, we love that our Nabi is Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. With that, we love his sunnah, we love his way, right? We love that Islam is our religion. So all laws of Islam we embrace. Not only do we accept it, but we love it. We love that we must pray. We love that we must fast. We love that we must, cover our aura. We love it. We love what Islam, has placed on us of its laws and its Sharia. Then the Quran, we love to recite the Quran every day. So you please as a qaida, because this part of Aqidah is all about love. Right? Because it's Radina, 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 that we have contentment. And then this part of the Aqidah is a very important part of Aqidah because it shows a yaqeen. It shows a certainty, like going back to the first 5 ayat of Surah Al-Baqarah, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Alif Lam Mim, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. Allah speaks about the Quran being a guide for the muttaqin, those with taqwa. Then Allah describes who are these people with taqwa. الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ وَيُقِيمُونَ الصَّلَاةَ وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ يُنْفِقُونَ. Allah says the one who believes in the unseen. They believe. So Allah begins the ayat by saying yu'minu. They believe. By the end of the ayat, you find the word yuqinun. وَبِالْآخِرَةِ هُمْ yuqinun. So Allah goes from the word yu'minun to the word yuqinun. Yu'minun is iman, yuqinun is yaqeen. Right? So this muttaqin, they go from iman into yaqeen. What's the difference? Iman is something that I hold in my heart and I know it's true. Iman is tasdiq. I hold in my heart and I know it's true. Right? So I know Allah exists. I know the Prophet is a prophet. I know there are angels. I know. All I know. Right? So, and they establish a prayer, they pay the zakat. I know all these things are wajib. الذين يؤمنون بما أنزل إليك وما أنزل من قبلك وبالآخرة هم يوقنون. And they believe on what was sent down onto you, O Muhammad, and what was sent down before you. Meaning that they believe in prophets, all prophets, and they believe in the books. This part. And then the last part, Allah says, وَبِالْآخِرَةِ هُمْ يُوقِنُونَ. There was a shift in the word. And they have yaqeen in the akhirah. That means they are going around in this dunya, seeing every action they do and its consequence in the akhirah. MashaAllah, there's a higher level of iman. Iman is yaqeen is that you know it's true. And so many people know akhirah is true. They know, but their actions speak otherwise. The actions don't show that they know there is akhirah. They know there will be questions. They know there's going to be a very deep day of judgment. They know about it. Right? But their actions doesn't show it. That is why Rasulullah said in another hadith that a believer is not one who lies. A believer does not lie. Because lying is a clear indication that you don't really believe the day of judgment that where Allah will call you out on your life. Right? When someone can lie, that means they don't really have that full yaqeen that this lie can be exposed on the day of judgment. And the yaqeen that this is deficient. And there's a hadith that a believer is not a believer when he steals. A believer is not a believer when he fornicates. A believer is not a believer when he drinks alcohol. A believer is not a believer. So it's a list of sins. So you're not a believer at the point of committing the sin. Because it's as if you don't believe this will be counted. Like this will be asked. It's as if. It's as if. And after that, ask for forgiveness. Ask for forgiveness. And subhanallah. So yuqinun, it means acting on your belief. Right. So here there is a story, mashallah, I mentioned it during one of my classes, a man came to Rasulullah and he was somebody from outside of Medina. Right. So in the time of years of food. Right? The food is very important for us to understand in the entire history of Rasulullah. To declare he is a prophet. Right? There were those who fought against him, but the majority of people stood by the side and watched the game. Right? Whoever wins, we join lah. It was just that whoever wins, we're gonna join the winner. So it was not about iman, it wasn't about yaqeen, it wasn't about we'll join the winning party. And many human beings are like that. Like they see who's more popular, who's winning, and they join the winning party. So watch the show go on, as the disbelievers fought the Muslims. So just watching to see what's going on. What was the showdown? What's happening? So when in Mecca, and they're like, these are the superpower, right? These are the ones who have conquered Mecca, right? So they have the upper hand. So now comes the years of the Wufud, whereby people they flock to Medina and they give their pledge of allegiance to Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They give their Islam, right? They take Islam and take their allegiance to Rasulullah. And mashallah, this dawrah that's happening in ID, right? Habib likened it to the years of Wufud. He likened this dawrah to the years of Wufud in Medina in time of Rasulullah, whereby people from all around the peninsula would come to Medina, and they will come in groups. Sahaba will see, these foreigners appearing in Medina, and they will stay. They will stay in Medina. They will stay, for a week, or a week or 2 weeks, sometimes for 3 days. They will stay there, learn Islam. Then they will go back to their countries. They will come for short periods of time, and they will go back to their countries. So this dawrah in ID, right? That's, mashallah, Habib has likened it to the years of food, whereby you have delegations, right? So whereby you have delegations from all over the world. So you have and in fact I know that some parts of this world, they send a delegation from New Zealand to Tarim, a delegation from the UK to Tarim. They call their group delegations, and inshallah there's a delegation from Singapore coming up. Right? I think they're at Oman right now. They're coming into Tarim, delegation from Singapore. So from all over the world, there are people coming in to represent the country, right? Taking from this place of Tarim, and then going back to the country and spreading what they saw and what they heard and what they learned from. And mashallah. So in the time of Rasulullah, this happened. People will come and they will sit for a period of time. And here is also, they will say the proof of the word dawrah. Because it happened, they had dawrahs. They will come for 3 days, they come for 7 days, and Rasulullah will teach them intensively the fardu ain. And then they will leave Medina, go back to their people, and teach them fardu ain. And they will not come back because they live far away. So most of them came 1 time, 2 times, khalas. Most of them came only 1 time to Medina, represent their people. They took the shahada, they learned the fardu ain, they go back to their qaryah, to their village, to Medina, because their people is hard to travel to Medina all the time. So most of them, the only other time they actually met Rasulullah was during his Hajj. A lot of them came down for Hajj, his final Hajj, the farewell pilgrimage. Right? So it's called the years of the Wufud. And in fact, it's one of the dalil of the barakah of blessings in Dawrah. Coming for a short period of time for those who can't be at the Sahaba and stay there year after year after year. The Sahaba, they're around Rasulullah year after year after year. So similarly, not everybody can come to Tarim and stay in Tarim year after year after year after year to benefit from the people here. Some of them come for a short period of time and then they go off and they benefit. So anyway, my shahid, why I mentioned that is because there was a man, yesterday I mentioned the story, there was a man that came with one of the troops, right? And no, he by himself, but he came by himself, a Bedouin. Bedouin. He came by himself, and then he came up to Rasulullah and said, Ya Rasulullah, explain me about Islam. Just tell me what is Islam. And there were those who were like that. There are many stories about like a Bedouin who will come up and Nabi Muhammad is doing khutbah, khutbah Jum'ah. He's doing khutbah Jum'ah. Like a Bedouin, a random guy from the desert comes up to the podium, to the minbar, and says, "Oh Muhammad, teach me what Allah has taught you." Just inform everybody. Everybody's there having their Jum'ah prayers. This random guy comes up and he cries out, teach me what Allah taught you. MashaAllah. Nobody calls the guy because he's new. He's an outsider. And Rasulullah, with his humility, he will come down from the podium and from his mimbar, and he will sit in front of the man and teach the man until the man is content. And the man goes off and he continues his khutbah. MashaAllah. There are riwayat about this. That's how he would do it. Because he will see that because if he does not do it then this man is going to go off without Islam. So the man has come, ask a question, now wajib on him to explain Islam then. To the man, because otherwise if he says, wait, let me finish my khutbah first, the man will be like, khalas, he walks away. Because he's someone who's foreign. He doesn't know what's going on. So he's not going to wait until your khutbah ends. He's going to go off with his camel. He's not going to have the patience for that. So he will teach the man then. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And because the Sahaba can wait. Sahaba have understanding, right? Sahaba can wait. You see occur again and again with the awliya, with the ulama, whereby when they see the normal students, and then they see like a stranger in the gathering, and they will just pay attention to the stranger. So when the person has specific questions or needs, they will attend to that person immediately and let their students wait. Because you all come here every week anyway. So you all keep coming, right? The other one is one who's coming here once. I've never seen him before. So they will try their best to kind of pull them in and do attract them. So this man came up to Rasulullah and said, Ya Rasulullah, teach me all about Islam. I want to know all about Islam. So Rasulullah began reciting from Surah Zalzalah. And that's how he would do, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He would just recite from the Quran. There are narrations of him, Walid bin Mughira, the father of Khalid bin Walid. There was once he came to Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and began to, ask him, because it's Walid bin Mughira, the father of Khalid bin Walid. He was known for his intellect. He was a very wise and respected person, but did not come into Islam. He was one of the enemies of Islam, right? But he was somebody who was very dignified, very respected, very wise. Right? So he came up to Islam. He would not be someone who would like go around cursing and slandering and using bad, foul words, unlike Abu Jahl. Right? So even amongst the enemies, they have their, their dignity of how are you an enemy? Right? So some enemies, they were more civilized in their animosity, and some enemies they were just disgusting in their animosity against Rasulullah. So and much of there's a narration whereby Khalid al-Walid bin Mughira, he goes up to Rasulullah and asks, what is it that you want? What do you want? From that, why are you going around telling people that the idols are false? Right? What is this in the parts of Islam? And Rasulullah Sallallahu is a very famous scene, and he will say that he said, "Are you done? Are you speaking?" He waited until the man finished saying what he wanted to say, because the man's older. The respect, and we're no enemy, mashallah, right? But older. So he waited until the man's finished. Then he says, "Are you done?" And he said, "Yes, I've said what I have to say." And then Rasulullah began to recite Quran. Now he would do it all the time. So there was his way of da'wah, because the people of that time, the Quran affected them very deeply. And he knew that Walid bin Mughira was a very intellectual man. And he knew Arabic language, and he knew Arabic poetry. He can tell the Quran is not from a human being. He could tell. Right? So when Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam began to recite the Quran, Walid bin Mughira was stunned. He was stunned by what was recited. And he was speechless, and he was speechless. And he turned around and he went back to the kuffar who were watching, see what's going on, and they were watching. And because I said to him, just stop to that. There's nothing happened. Tell him, stop it. He's not going to stop it, of course. I would very nicely tell him, this is not this society, making our families, having so much fights, everything. Can you stop it? In a sense, in a nice way. Right. So the also case, if you think this works, and not hostility, because they've been going hostile, right? They have been like torturing the Muslims, they've been doing all kinds of things to the Muslims. And Walid and Mughira, he was like, no. We go the way that's diplomatic, okay, to try and get him to stop. Right? He's preaching. Of course, he's not going to stop. He's commanded. They saw what happened. His face changed. He was so stunned by the Quran. He went back to his people, and Abu Jahl was there. He was like, oh, you traitor, became a Muslim. His face was stunned, right, by what he heard from the Quran. And Al-Walid bin Mughira said, Abu Jahl, or Abu Hakam, do not comment. Do not say anything. For what this man has brought, the Quran, there is nothing like it. And my advice to all of you, all of you, is do not fight him. The power that is supporting him. Don't you fight him. Don't you? That is my advice. Don't you fight him. Then Abu Jahl was like screaming, you traitor, useless. You went there, talk to him, and then you come back and say to us, don't fight him. And of course Abu Jahl is the under enemy, and a complete ugly behavior, Abu Jahl. And he was like, okay, cursing, and Al-Mughira said, don't judge me. Don't judge me. But I will tell you one thing, what he has, you cannot fight. You cannot fight this. Right, mashallah. So that's how what the effect of the Quran. Subhanallah. Right, and then Abu Jahl said, are you a Muslim? Right, and Walid bin Mughira at that point, his ego took over his aql. His ego took over his aql, and he refused to enter Islam because he did not want to show to Abu Jahl that he got convinced by Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He got convinced. He was right at the edge of Islam. But because of the ego, and Abu Jahl was like, you have been fooled by that madman, you were fooled. Right? And he's no, I'm not Muslim. Then it's like right there. Just the last, he would cry whenever, because there are ayat in the Quran that describes Al-Walid bin Mughira in Surah Mudaththir, right? The ayat whereby he frowns, and he looks, and he thinks, and he looks, because Mughira is the one who became that Nabi Muhammad is a magician, right? So Allah describes in the Quran, and Khalid bin Walid will read this ayah, and he knows about his father, and he will cry. He will cry, knowing this ayah is condemned, and he will say that my father was someone so intellectual, and I will look up to him. My father, I will look up to him, right? But he did not come into Islam. Right? By his intellect, he should have known better. Like that kind of intellect, he should have known better. But the ego was too strong to come into Islam, mashallah. So anyway, we made the story of the man that came to Islam. Oh Muhammad, teach me. Tell me what is Islam. What is this way of Islam? And Rasul began to recite from Surah Zalzala. And then after he finished Zalzala, he was going to begin another surah, and the man said, Hasbuk. It means enough. And then Rasul said, meaning like why? Like what's going on? And the man says, you have read an ayah that is enough for me to live my life. And Rasul said, what ayah is that? In Surah Zalzala. And he said, وَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ خَيْرًا يَرَهُ وَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ شَرًّا يَرَهُ. Right, there's ayat in Surah Zalzala that goes, and whoever does the tiniest atoms of good deed, he will see it. The tiniest atoms, they will see it. And the man said, that ayat, enough. Enough for me. That. And the said, right, the man has that. Right, and that is called that you know everything that you do in this existence, you will see it listed out in front of you on a day of judgment. And that is called yaqeen. There's this high in iman, it becomes yaqeen. So inshallah, next week, we'll start with today at 10:30. Next week with this section, right? Because there's a lot of issues in our zaman about this section. You all know what's going on in Singapore. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. I've been hearing from people in Singapore about people all going crazy about concerts. Muslims going crazy about concerts in Singapore, from madrasa, from secular school, from, I mean, and sometimes you wonder, people who are in their 30s, in their 40s, and still going for concerts. Like you know, when will you wake up? Right? When? You know, already in their 40s, you know, buying tickets, going for all these celebrities and singers and whatsoever. You know, you're at 40, you should be seeing. You shouldn't even be thinking, you know, to go shuttling at an age to be going to some place where it's full of, it's Jahannam. It's just Jahannam there. Subhanallah. So that, and this is where the ayah comes in. فَبَرَّأْنَا مِنْ كُلِّ دِينٍ يُخَالِفُ دِينَ الْإِسْلَامِ. We are free of any way of life that goes against Islam. We are free of this. And that was what I have today, inshallah. Any questions? And the year of the Wufud is the year 8 and 9, or after Hijrah. After Hijrah, because after it happened specifically after Mecca. So the conquest of Mecca, the people who are watching the game and they see the Muslims are winning and they won Mecca, right? So it was the year after Fatah Mecca. I think Fatah Mecca happened the year 8, if I'm not wrong. 8 or the year 7. Hijrah. Right. So because I think Hudaybiyah happened on the Badr again over then. Then I think Hudaybiyah happened in year 4. Then after 2 more years, year 6. It's year 7 now. Was this the Prophet of Mecca. Al-Fatiha. They're saying in Malaysia too, the concerts in Malaysia is some celebrities, I don't know, and they're saying Bismillah to get the tickets. So they will say Bismillah so they can, because it's selling off so quickly. And last they can you know, then about that 2 dosa, you get 2 sins. You get sin for going for the concert, sin for saying Bismillah for it. Double the sin. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.